everywhere you'll see Emulate 3D.
And this is your digital twin software,
That's
right?
our digital twin that allows us to connect to our controllers, so I can test out code, build my twin before I build, and then deploy, and then I can use it for commissioning, obviously.
Right.
And then, once it's running, when you're operating, now you as the digital twin to say, what's different from normal behavior?
What I like to say is, and I spent several decades running manufacturing companies, the scariest day in the life of a manufacturing engineer is the day that you change the process on the shop floor, right?
For sure.
Because if you change it and you get it right and you improve throughput or you improve yield or whatever, you're
Hero.
a superstar, right? and if it doesn't work, all eyes are on you. That is the worst day of your life, is the day
100%.
that you mess up the system, and now you've got lead time issues, you've got customers that need product and you're not able to produce it, and it was all because you had a miss on a technology change. What that digital twin software allows us to do, if I'm hearing you right, is really work all those mistakes out ahead of time, so that when we do turn that into a physical asset on the shop floor, so many of the things that we may have had to do in the physical universe, we can actually do in the cyber universe, and we can work out all those challenges, and then, to your point, connect that to the cloud and gather data from it and allow us to predict the future. Am I getting that right?
That's 100% right. And look, you'll never work out all kinks, but with Emulate 3D, you really start to, and it's not just, oh, have I wired this correctly? Does that function work correctly? You start to see it differently, because when you see something in 3 dimensions and how it really will behave, once it's connected to everything, all of a sudden you go, oh yeah, that's not going to work. Like I in my previous lives programmed a lot of PLCs,
Right.
and it's never right the first time.
Right.
It's
Absolutely.
like, oh, that's what that happens when this I remember one time the soil was wet, or the basically material is wet. When it gets wet, when it goes through a dryer, obviously it's heavier and denser, and the reactions aren't the same.
Sure.
And if you don't have that information, where you might have been able to simulate that kind of information,
Right.
it's huge. So I agree. The use of Emulate 3D, I think it's also simple. People will go, oh, I see how you do that. I build my model of my piece of equipment. If you look at anywhere, we've got our independent cart, or in the robotics, I drag those modules onto a picture.
Right.
I wire it up to my controller, whether it's a simulated one or a real one, and now I can program and test and see how this works.
Right.
And even to a point where if I've got fluid dynamics, I can integrate like ANSYS models
Sure.
for that heavy-duty kind of simulation. And now I'm testing before I even go to site. That is huge.